And Governor Walz, you said that as long as you are governor, immigrants will be welcome in Minnesota. Do you find a difference between an immigrant and an illegal immigrant?
A difference, their status?
Is there a difference? Legal status or otherwise?
Well, the legal status is different, but in Minnesota, we have a long tradition of welcoming.
Okay. ICE in St. Paul arrested a criminal illegal alien who had been convicted for possession of child pornography on a work computer. Do you still stand by your statement that ICE agents are the modern-day Gestapo?
Folks, welcome back to the channel. If you're not already fired up, buckle up, because this hearing is straight up maddening. But damn if it isn't finally satisfying to watch someone cut through the nonsense. We've got Representative Tim Burchett from Tennessee sitting across from Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, and he hits him with the simplest, most basic question in the English language. Is there a difference between an immigrant and an illegal immigrant? And what does Walz do? He freezes like a deer in headlights. Then, he launches into this mushy word salad about traditions of welcoming. Are you serious right now? It's a yes or no question, Governor. One group followed the rules, waited in line, respected our laws and our sovereignty. The other group broke the damn law to get here. If you can't even admit there's a fundamental difference between obeying the law and breaking it, you've got no business running a state, let alone sniffing around federal policy. Burchett doesn't let him wiggle out. He keeps the pressure on until Walz finally mumbles. Well, the legal status is different. No kidding, Tim, that's the entire freaking point. Let's roll the full clip, because trust me, it gets way worse from here. Walz actually doubles down defending his comparison of American ICE agents to the Gestapo. You have to see this garbage to believe it. Watch.
ICE agents need to do a job, but they need to do it within the realm of due process and the law, wearing masks, no notice of who they are, no notice of the vans, and picking people up off the streets without that due process. I stand that is wrong and a road towards authoritarianism. I certainly stand by that.
You know, I have one rule. I have a couple rules in my office, but one of them is never compare anything dealing with the Holocaust except for the Holocaust. I think that it desensitizes people about what really went on in Nazi Germany by making any comparisons there. Does Minnesota receive federal tax dollars for any programs that assist illegal immigrants?
Minnesota's federal tax dollars are appropriated by you in Congress, and then we use state dollars under our laws.
During the Biden administration, nearly $1.5 billion was sent to sanctuary states to pay for their illegal immigration policies, housing, health care. Governor Hochul, are crimes committed by illegal aliens preventable, in your opinion?
Our law enforcement is highly trained in how to identify prospective perpetrators, but certainly we try to prevent crimes, and we also work to resolve them and make sure that if there's a crime committed, that people find their time in court and are incarcerated. That's how it's always worked.
By definition, illegal aliens are unlawfully present in the United States. They should not be here in the first place to commit crimes. Don't you agree with that?
It depends on the circumstances of coming over. I mean, there's civil violations, there's also criminals. So it's the federal government's determination on the status of an individual. But I
mean, if they're not here, the crime's not going to be committed.
I think if there was
if
not
they're not going to be here, ma'am, the crime is not going to be committed.
If there was no one in our country, no crimes would be committed. I suppose you could say the same thing.
A young man in my district whose family is very close to me lost their son to an illegal alien, and I can guarantee you if that illegal alien, if we'd followed the laws of the land and there'd been some enforcement, that young man would be here today. Well, let me ask you this. Why did your state issue say that you are welcome with open arms in reference to illegal aliens? That was a direct quote attributed to you, ma'am.
It's a 400-year history we have in the state of New York of welcoming all. I don't know why we would change that now.
Okay, Governor Pritzker, you mentioned in your opening statement that criminals have no place in our country, but Cook County released numerous criminal migrants last year, including one that was charged with raping a minor. Why would you release a criminal rapist back into your community?
Thank you, Congressman. First of all, we don't need to release somebody if ICE or another law enforcement authority shows up with a judicial warrant. Then that's just the fact. And if somebody gets released, it's usually because they've had due process and determined not to be eligible to be held. That's
Okay, but do you know what happened after that individual was released?
I don't, but again, a judicial warrant, if appropriate.
I'll tell you, 17 days later, he was charged with a homicide. And in Cook County, also released a migrant charged with domestic violence in August of 2024. You know what this individual was charged with 1 month later?
No, sir, I'm not sure what.
Aggravated criminal sexual assault and abuse of minor. And as
That's
governor, have you done anything to ensure local and county governments aren't releasing illegal immigrants charged with sexual or violent crimes?
As a matter of fact, first of all, we chase down criminals every single day. We put them in jail. We try them, put them through due process. They get convicted. They get put into our correction system. We do that every single day. You're implying that we're not. We are. In fact, our law enforcement are some of the best in the country. They do their job.
Well, if these laws were enforced, then I would assume these people wouldn't be back out on the streets so freely. How many programs does Illinois have that explicitly supports illegal immigrants?
So we've created programs to deal with not illegal. I mean, we have one program that's related to undocumented people who are.
I'm out of time,
the
but
most
the
vulnerable.
answer is at least four. Health benefits for immigrants, HBIS, health benefits for immigrants, adults, HBI, retention of Illinois students, and equity RISE is the acronym for that act, and the Illinois Dream Fund.
I don't even know where to begin. But let's start with Tim Walz, because this is shameful. Burchett quotes him word for word. Walz compared ICE officers, our own law enforcement doing their jobs, to the Gestapo, the Nazi secret police. Burchett gives him an easy out. Hey, maybe that was too far. Want to walk it back. Walz doesn't. He doubles down. He basically says, nah, I stand by it. That's disgusting. Tim Burchett has one ironclad rule. Never compare anything to the Holocaust except the actual Holocaust. That's the bare minimum of decency when you're talking about real history and real evil. But Walz is so deep in his radical open border fantasy that he thinks locking up a criminal illegal alien is somehow equivalent to Nazi Germany. It's an insult to every ICE agent putting their life on the line. And it's a straight-up slap in the face to history and the victims of actual genocide. Then Burchett turns to New York Governor Hochul. And this part, I actually laughed out loud because her logic is brain dead. Burchett asks the most straightforward question imaginable. If an illegal alien wasn't in the country, would the crime they committed here have happened? Obvious answer, no, because they wouldn't be here to commit it. But Hochul dodges like a pro. Well, if no one was in our country, no crimes would be committed. What the actual hell is that? We're not talking about no one, Governor. We're talking about people who have zero legal right to be on American soil. Burchett's point is crystal. Every single crime committed by an illegal alien is 100% preventable, because they shouldn't have been here in the first place. It's not complicated. It's called border security. And then we get to Illinois Governor Pritzker. Burchett lists off rapists, murderers, violent predators released onto the streets of Chicago and Cook County. Pritzker's excuse: they didn't have a judicial warrant. He's hiding behind paperwork. He's literally saying, well, ICE didn't fill out the exact form we demand, so we let the rapist walk. That, right there, is what sanctuary really means. It doesn't mean sanctuary for migrants. It means sanctuary for criminals from actual law enforcement. Hats off to Tim Burchett. He didn't scream. He didn't grandstand. He just dropped facts and let these governors hang themselves with their own words. When you hit them with simple, logical questions, is illegal immigration illegal? Should we release rapists? They can't give a straight answer because their whole ideology collapses under basic scrutiny. Tim Walz came off weak, radical, and completely disrespectful to the rule of law. If this is the face of the sanctuary movement, America's in deep trouble. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you agree with Burchett's rule? Never compare anything to the Holocaust except the Holocaust. And should Tim Walz apologize to ICE agents for that vile Gestapo comparison? Smash that like button if you're sick of the excuses. Subscribe if you want more no BS, common sense breakdowns. I'll catch you in the next one.